thanks all around every time I say I can't wait to pick it up. Hey everyone, it's Kayla, and today I am back with a book haul because what else would I come back with? Let's be real here. So I'm going to show you the books I got first, and then we'll end with all the comics and graphic novels. So first I have this short story, Kindred Spirits by Rainbow Rowell. She is one of my favorite contemporary authors, and I actually didn't pick this one up. Riley actually got a case of 100 of these by mistake from Book Depository, so she just basically spread the love, and I was fortunate enough to get one, and thank you Riley for that. Yeah, it's just a cute little short story about Star Wars fans, and on the front it says for older readers, so I'm assuming that means mature content inside, perhaps. Next up, I have The Dragon's Blade, The Reborn King, and this is by Michael R. Miller, and Mr. Miller actually contacted me. He emailed me and asked if I would be interested in reviewing this, if he sent me a review copy. So he actually sent me this for review, and it is absolutely gorgeous, guys. If you can look at the cover, look at that. This is about dragons transforming into humans. This great transformation happens, and then 20 years later, the alliance is fractured between fairies, humans, and dragons, and it just sounds right up my alley. I love books about dragons, and I will definitely be posting a review on my channel since he was kind enough to send that to me. So for Valentine's Day this year, my mom always gets my sister and myself a little something because we're the loves of her life, and she actually got me a Barnes & Noble gift card because she couldn't find an Amazon one. So I was looking online and they had this deal where you buy 2 paperbacks and get one free. They had a selection there. The first thing I picked up from Barnes & Noble is Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, and I'm pretty sure that's right because I looked it up. Max from Well Done Books, I know he loved this book and he loves this author. In a nutshell, this book is about a couple who get split up. They're from Nigeria, and she ends up in America and he ends up in London. It just deals with issues like race and society and identity. I know I'm probably going to like it, and I know it's probably going to destroy me at the same time, so I look forward to that. The next book I picked up with the Barnes & Noble gift card is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I've actually never read anything by Margaret Atwood, and I feel like that's a sin because she is such a classic writer, and I feel like as a writer myself, I should at least have read one of her books. I feel like this is a classic dystopian of some sort. I know it's compared to 1984 by George Orwell. And then the third and final thing I got with my Barnes & Noble gift card was The Complete Persepolis, which is a graphic memoir by Marjane Satrapi, and I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it because I YouTubed it. I'm trying to look up names so that I don't botch them so much in my videos because the authors deserve that. This is a graphic memoir about the author growing up in Iran. I wasn't really going to pick it up on my own, but my sister's girlfriend had to read this for class and she said it's really good, so I got it. The art's kind of different from what I'm used to as far as comics and graphic novels go, and that's kind of what it looks like. Very simple, black and white, and I'm anxious to get to this. And then the next thing I picked up was The Slow Regard of Silent Things by Patrick Rothfuss. This is a novella in the King Killer Chronicles, and y'all know how much I love that series, so I had to get the novella. Even though this has a ton of mixed reviews, I know people say it doesn't add much to the series, but it's about Ari, who is a side character who I really like and enjoy. I just need more of Patrick Rothfuss, okay? I need more of his writing. I don't care if it's about umbrellas. I will read it because he is genius. Alright, that's it for the book section. Now we're moving on to comics. The first thing I picked up is Y the Last Man Book 4. This contains volumes 7 and 8 in the series, and there's only 10 volumes in the series total, and I think the 5th and final collection comes out in August, and I just can't wait to see how this story ends. I have to remember this is a haul and not a wrap-up because I want to talk about this, and this series is about Yorick, who is the last man on Earth essentially. He survives a apocalyptic plague that just kills everything with a Y chromosome, including animals and anything you can think of. All the men are dead except him and his pet monkey, who's also male. So he has to survive in a world of females, and it's just so intense and hilarious at times, and the things that happen, you're just like... So then I picked up Sex Castle, which I first heard about on Kristin from What's Happening's channel. Kristin does a lot of anticipated graphic novels, videos, and things like that, and I'll leave a link to her channel below, so you definitely have to go check that out. It's about the world's greatest assassin retiring, and I just thought it sounded really good, and hello, assassin is a buzzword, let's be real here. Who doesn't love assassins? I'm not sure about the art either. It's in black and white, and the illustrations are kind of choppy. So we'll see, we'll see. The next thing I picked up was Descender Volume 1, 10 stars, and I've heard a lot of people really like this. This is what the art looks like, and to me it kind of looks watercolory, and I like that a lot because it's kind of different. This comic takes place 10 years after these robots called Harvesters just wreak havoc across the galaxy, and this little boy robot wakes up to find out that all robots are outlawed, and it goes on from there. I also picked up Birthright Volume 2. This is a series about a boy who goes missing, goes to this fantasy world, grows up to be an adult, comes back as an adult, and it's only 1 year after he went missing as a little boy. The story flips back and forth between his time as a boy in the fantasy world growing up versus his time as an adult here in the real world. It kind of actually reminds me of the show The Family, which started this year on ABC, and they actually freaking canceled it, which I'm so pissed because it ended in a cliffhanger. Anyways, that's another topic of conversation. So then I picked up Paper Girls Volume 1. I picked this up obviously because it's by Brian K. Vaughan. This is about a group of girls who are newspaper girls in the 80s. And the 80s definitely comes into play. I feel like the time period is a character of its own. There's all this mystery and time travel and possibly alien aspect involved, and it's just really interesting. So then I picked up the first 2 volumes of Sweet Tooth, and this is by Jeff Lemire. And there's only 6 volumes in this series, and if I had the money I would definitely get the next 4 because I am just broken after the second volume. This is about the world after a disease wipes out most of the globe, and then the kids who are born after this disease wipes out the world are half animal, half human, and the way they're treated and just different things like that. I'm just like, ugh. It's just really different, and I really enjoy post-apocalyptic settings, so this is right up my alley. And the art's really different as well. I feel like it's a reflection of the ruggedness of the series overall, so I like how it relates to the plot. So then in April, I was fortunate enough to go to Philadelphia and meet up with Sam from ThoughtsonTomes, and we had a lot of fun. We went to this comic book store, and of course I had to spend money there. I've never been to a comic book store before. I picked up 2 single issues and 2 volumes, and let me show them to you. The single issues I picked up were actually the first ever single issues that I've ever bought, and as a comic lover, a newfound comic lover, that's quite an achievement, so I was really excited for that. The first single issue I picked up was issue 1 of I Hate Fairyland, and this comic, they market this comic as Deadpool meets Alice in Wonderland because of the vulgarity and the gore and the content material, and I have to say that's pretty accurate. And after I read this single issue, I was like, what the hell did I just read? But in the best way possible, and I'm like, I need the full volume. So of course that's in this pile right here. I mean, I didn't pick this up in Philly, but I had to have it after I read this. So yeah, definitely Deadpool meets Alice in Wonderland. It's about this girl who is like 7, I think, and she gets transported to this world, Fairyland, and the ruler there was like, oh, you can go home, you just have to find this key. It can be anywhere in this galaxy, pretty much. And it flashes to like 20-something years later, and she's still this little girl. She's the cynical adult trapped in a 7-year-old's body, and it is just so violent and bizarre, and she's still hunting for this key, and it's just different. It's so unique, like unlike anything I've read before. The other single issue I picked up when I was with Sam was Back to the Future issue 1, and I am a huge Back to the Future fan. And basically this comic series is going to be about deleted scenes or like untold tales or untold futures, etc., in the universe about the same characters. So I am so excited to read more of this. I really enjoyed this single issue. It shows basically how Marty and Doc met, which I really appreciated. Also with Sam, I picked up the trade paperback of Bitch Planet. I've been wanting to get this for a while. And just like The Complete Persepolis, my sister's girlfriend had to read this in class as well. I want to take this class, guys. This class sounds awesome. I know I normally don't read the back to you guys, but the back of this says, are you too fat, too thin, too loud, too shy, too religious, too secular, too prudish, too sexual, too queer, too black, too brown, too whatever it is they'll judge you for today? You just may belong on Bitch Planet. So that sounds really empowering. And the last thing I picked up with Sam while we were in Philly was Giant Days Volume 1. And I loved it so much that I ordered Giant Days Volume 2 because I had to have it. And this is definitely one of my top 5 favorite comic series. It is just a refreshing break from all the sex and all the gore and all the war and all the killing. This is about a group of girls, a trio, who room together in college, and it's just snapshots of their college life together, and they're three very different personalities, and they complement each other so well. Normally, authors write for the trade, like you can tell there's a sense of an overall story in one trade, but here the issues kind of stand on their own. There's some things that overlap, but mostly it's just snapshots of their college life together. The art's very colorful and vibrant. And the last thing I have to show you for this haul is The Wicked and the Divine Volume 3, Commercial Suicide. And this series is about gods transformed as celebrities on Earth, and they only have 2 years to live, and that's basically the gist of the whole story. I can't get into details about Volume 3 because it would be spoilers. And some people say this is confusing, but just as a general warning, I really don't think it's confusing. There's some confusion, but that's just how comics roll sometimes, and you learn answers as you go. Alright, so that's it for my collective book haul. That's all the stuff that I've acquired since January, and I know that it seems like a lot, but it really isn't for me. I've really cut back on spending. The stuff that I do get, I've been saving for, or pre-orders, or things like that. So let me know below what you've acquired lately. Let me know below what you're currently reading, and if any of those comics sound interesting to you. And I will see you all soon with another video, and a lot more announcements. So I'm really excited to tell you guys about some things happening this summer, so stay tuned. Bye!